When people hear the word Viking, they imagine warriors, axes, burning villages, and endless raids. But here's the truth. Most Vikings never went raiding. Most never held a sword. And most never left Scandinavia. They were farmers, fishermen, craftsmen, families trying to survive one of the harshest environments in Europe. This is not the Viking world from movies. This is how Vikings actually lived. The Viking world was cold, rough, and unforgiving. Most Vikings lived in small villages across modern-day Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. No big cities, no stone palaces. Their homes were called longhouses, long, narrow buildings made of wood, stone, and turf. Inside, entire families lived together in one room. There was no privacy. Smoke filled the air from the central fire. Animals were sometimes kept inside during winter for warmth. Life revolved around survival, especially during the long, dark winters. Viking food was simple, repetitive, and built for survival, not comfort. Most Vikings did not eat large meals of meat like movies suggest. Their daily diet was based on whatever could survive the cold climate of Scandinavia. Bread was the foundation of Viking food. It was made from barley, rye, or oats, and often baked hard so it could last through winter. Porridge was eaten almost every day. It was cheap, filling, and easy to prepare. Fish was essential. Along the coasts and rivers, Vikings relied heavily on dried, smoked, or salted fish to survive the long winters. Dairy products were common. Milk, cheese, butter, and sour whey provided calories when food was scarce. Meat was rare. Animals were valuable, and killing them meant losing wool, milk, or labor. Most families only ate meat during festivals, celebrations, or religious rituals. There were no modern spices. Food was bland, heavy, and repetitive. Hunger was a constant threat. A single bad harvest could push an entire village toward starvation. Eating for Vikings was not about pleasure. It was about staying alive. Viking clothing was made for function, not fashion. Most people wore simple wool tunics, thick cloaks, and leather shoes designed to survive cold, wind, and rain. Clothes were handmade at home and often passed down through generations. Bright colors were rare. Dyes were expensive, and most clothing stayed in natural shades of brown, gray, or dull red. Despite popular myths, Vikings were not dirty barbarians. They washed regularly, especially before gatherings, religious rituals, or travel. Combs, razors, and grooming tools were common finds in Viking graves. Clean hair and a well-kept appearance mattered in Viking society. Being unclean was seen as shameful, not heroic. Bathing usually happened once a week, more often than many people in medieval Europe. Hygiene was not about luxury, it was about health, respect, and social status. For Vikings, staying clean was another way to survive a harsh world. Viking society was built around family, not war. The household was the center of life, and women played a powerful role inside it. While men worked the fields or traveled, women managed the home, food supplies, and daily survival. Viking women had more rights than many women in medieval Europe. They could own property, inherit land, and, in some cases, ask for divorce. Marriage was important, but it was usually arranged to strengthen families and alliances. Love was secondary to survival. Women controlled the keys of the household, a symbol of authority and responsibility. They decided how food was stored, shared, and protected during winter. Children worked early. Boys learned farming, fishing, or crafts. Girls learned household skills from their mothers. There was no modern idea of childhood. Everyone had a role. Honor defined a person's place in society. A good reputation protected your family. Shame could destroy it. Viking society was not gentle, but it was organized. Survival depended on loyalty, family, and trust. Death was a constant presence in Viking life. Disease, injury, hunger, and the cold claimed many lives before old age. There were no doctors, no medicine as we know it today, and little protection from infection. Despite popular belief, not all Vikings went to Valhalla. Only warriors who died in battle were believed to be chosen by the gods. Most people faced simple burials, placed in the ground with a few personal items or tools. Some were buried with weapons, but this was rare and symbolic. For ordinary people, death was quiet and practical. Life expectancy was low, and Vikings knew it. This is why honor mattered so much. A good name could outlive the body. The real Viking world was not a constant storm of raids and battles. It was cold, it was repetitive, and it was hard. Most Vikings spent their lives farming, fishing, raising families, and preparing for winter. Raids were the exception, not the rule. The Viking civilization was built by ordinary people, not legendary warriors. And like every civilization we explore, the myth is louder than the truth. This is how Vikings actually lived. Subscribe for more.